Hello, everyone. Greetings. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Greetings. Well, it looks like I'm live. The
That's
live
good.
stream. That's good. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Hello. Let me just put my glasses on. Here we go. Oh, we have here 8 people watching, which is great. Hello, Red Snapper. And we'll go to the top. I'll start from the top. Hello, John Fused. Stuart Brayman was there a minute ago as well. Hello, how are you? Is this going to kill us all? I don't think so. I don't think there's any danger coming from this. Hello, David. Splendid isolation. Hello, Tina. Hope no vest required. With this heat wave coming, you must be joking. Hugo Rune, greetings. Got your spliffs in the tin, I hope. And we have English TK. Greeting. One chicken, Joe Frazier, and a nan. Ah, sounds good. Sounds good to me. Nanu, nanu. Oh, hey. Yeah, oh, yes. Thanks for right. How are you? Massive gathering of flying starlings. Well, what is it? Yeah, a murmuration. That's right, yes. A beautiful sight when you see these birds flying in formation. It's really, really cool. Anyway, hello, Tor Engen. Hello, Arts Channel. And hello, Serastium. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're doing all right. So, a bit mixture of weed and hash. That's cool. That's cool. Hello, Red Snapper. How are you? How you doing, Red Snapper? Yeah, my goodness me, Red Snapper. You've been going through my old video still. Hey, nice one, mate. Nice one. Hello, hello, Walt. Greetings, Lee Radford. Looking forward to tonight's presentation. I hope it won't let you down, Lee. Hello, Green Tea. Oh yeah, we're going to go through a number of sources this evening. Found out exactly what we're talking about here. Seeing as I've got old Avi Loeb behind me, you can guess that I'm going to question the official story of what's been going on. This man, the discoverer, well, I don't know if he was the discoverer of Oumuamua, but he's the guy who worked out, that head of astronomy at Harvard University, who worked out that it was actually not a natural object, was actually an alien, something of extraterrestrial artificial construction. Is this as well? That's what we're going to explore. We're going to explore that possibility. There's been a lot of information actually that's arrived since I put up the actual notice just before I went away, and there's been a bit of a gap because I put this up Thursday night just before I went to bed, and I realised I wouldn't be able to do the live stream until I got back from Awake and Aware. So, who went to Awake and Aware? Yeah, did you enjoy Awake and Aware? Those of you who went to it, I had a great time. It was fantastic. I had a really, really good time. Really loved every minute of it. Yeah, I could. Well, there's a video coming of that. I won't talk too much about Awake and Aware here tonight because there is a video of that coming. So you'll be able to watch it yourself and see what it's like, which will be really, really cool. But anyway, yeah, this is. I'll be going through some notice comments. Someone posted a notice. Someone posted some information on the what's it called on the blogger. I did a blogger article about this before I decided to do a live stream. And when I did, someone posted a comment underneath. And I decided to answer that in this particular live stream. And indeed, I've decided to. I decided to write a notice on Blogger telling these people. One of them is a guy who comments regularly on my alt tech. So and another is somebody else I don't recognize. They've left an anonymous comment. So we'll find out exactly what they have to say. But first of all, yeah, this is this struck me as very exciting. I might as well start with the actual. Well, first of all, I'll let you know I've just literally a few minutes ago posted a new portal on the main Hapanwo blog, which is the Interstellar Objects portal. I thought, and indeed, this, as you see, here's the subject of the other things that I've been writing about, and it's given the honor of having an Interstellar Object portal. This image, of course, it was the only image I could really think of. It actually does say artist concept there, right? Just to clear up any confusion, this is not a picture of a Oumuamua. It's not a photo of a Oumuamua. The best photo we have of a Oumuamua is a little red dot. This is This is what this artist thinks it looks like. The thing is, it's obviously here this here is obviously a natural object. This has been rudely christened the turd picture. this and similar objects and similar photos. They call them turd pictures for obvious reasons. But we don't know that it looked like that. We don't know. That is simply what the artist has depicted it as, when under the assumption that it is just a natural object. But according to Avi Loeb, who's behind me, you realise that it actually is most likely not that. Indeed, here you see this is the Interstellar Object live stream. You see, this is the notice for this particular program. There you go. Yeah. So, guys, I bet I should put these in reverse order, actually, which I'll do later. But anyway, let's just check your comments. We also have here, who else? We have Tina Silver says, what about the Mayan parrot shapes formation on Mars? Yeah, I don't know what that was, but Maria mentioned that, actually. Maria Wheatley, she mentioned that at Awake and Aware. It'll all come up. I'll mention it in the video. Rhiannon, how are you? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, all of you. Black Knight. Well, it could be something like that. Yeah, hello, Gin Skin Pivot. How are you, sir? Are you well? Welcome, all of you. And to give you a bit of background, to give you a bit of background on this. Yeah, this all broke out just last week. These astronomers detected another interstellar object. This is the third one confirmed. Now, obviously, some of you are going to say, "Well, what about UFOs, Ben?" I know. Let's just leave that aside for the time being. But they detected this interstellar object coming through the. It was actually discovered on the 1st of July by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System called ATLAS. This is a series of it's actually a series of telescopes on Hawaii, Chile, and South Africa. And this is like a network that works together and shares information. And they discovered this object in the solar system, just inside the orbit of Jupiter, traveling at, oh God, it's quite fast. It's actually going at, what's the speed? It's one of its speed and trajectory immediately indicated that it was actually 36 miles per. It's actually fast. Yeah, 36 miles per second. I think it's speeding. It'll speed up as it goes near the sun, and it'll leave the solar system faster than it came because of the slingshot effect. But the slingshot effect won't be it won't be as extensive as it was with Oumuamua, because this has been described as it's got the most eccentric trajectory of any object. It's much more eccentric, as they call it, than Oumuamua or Tuai Borisov. Now, that means it's basically in the straightest line imaginable. I mean, it's definitely hyperbolic, which means it's not in orbit. But its eccentricity is very, very high. It just says here, yeah, it's 61 kilometers. I hate using kilometers, but it's 144,000 miles per hour. So it's very, very fast, not in orbit. I'll show you where it is at the moment. Well, this is where it was on the 3rd of July. Where is it? Here we go. This is its current position. It was on a couple of days ago. There you go. There it is. 3i Atlas. It's going to. You see where it's going to go now. Earth is actually going to be moving away. This is like looking from above down through the solar system, if that makes any sense, on the Earth. This is probably a better picture because it shows. Maybe I can get a better image of it. Because this picture here, you can actually see this gives an indication of a third dimension within the galactic plane. So within the galactic plane, the ecliptic, these lines indicate how far above, if you imagine the Earth's north pole on the celestial sphere as being up and the Earth's south pole on the celestial sphere being down, that's basically where it is. Now, this is where the Earth is right now, but the Earth is going to be on October the 29th when it reaches perihelion. That is when it comes to its closest point to the sun. Earth is going to be there to October the 29th. And when it reaches perigee, that is the closest point to the Earth, at 1.835 AU, which is like 1.835 times the distance to the sun, Earth is going to be there. So it's not going to get as close as Oumuamua. It won't get as close, nowhere near as close as Oumuamua, but then it's going to head sort of towards the south of the celestial sphere, and it'll pass Jupiter sometime after that. Yeah, it's here we go. Here's its statistics. No one knows exactly how big it is just yet. There's several theories. It'll reach, at its current speed, it will reach perihelion on the 29th of October. It will not come closer than 1.8 astronomical units from the Earth. It will come very close to Mars. It's going to come very close to Mars, actually. 0.189 AU. On the 19th of December. But yeah, on the 19th of December, it comes closest to the Earth, which is not very close. And it's flying close to the plane of the ecliptic. It's matching the other planets and objects in orbit. This is not an indication of any solar origin. If you want to see all, please, it's currently just to the north of Sagittarius with a magnitude of 18.2. You need a large telescope to see it, if you want to see it. Let's just check your comments, guys. How are you all? Yeah, I'm Raven. How are Lucy's? Oh, right, it's something different. Sirius C offload, says Tina Silver. Oh, that's relating to the Sirius mystery. Yeah, it's an eccentric concentric. Yes, it's even more eccentric than me, and that's really saying something. Yes. Hello, Paul Wills. How are you? Can please do a sit-down interview with Gary Heseltine, what he's up to regarding the latest UFO scene, and of course Capel Green. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, I'd be happy to talk to Gary at some point. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been a bit of a division within the Capel Green community. I don't know all the details of that, but I know that Gary's released a book called Beyond Beyond Human. I think I did talk to him about that. English TK says, does Avi Loeb know what's happening? I'm going to go through his Twitter feed in a minute, all right? Hello, Graham. How'd you do? Oh, connection lost? Oh, dear. What's happening now? What did you miss, guys? That was that was about a minute ago. All right, well, I'll just go through some of the details I went through before in case you missed anything. Sorry about that if you missed part of this. I don't know why that happened. My internet connection seems to be normal. All right, it's traveling. I'll go through the statistics again. That was all I was talking about. This was discovered on the 1st of July by the Atlas Survey Telescope. That's Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. This is a network of telescopes in Chile, South America, Hawaii, and South Africa. And so they've actually backtracked a few early observations from the July the 25th to 29th, and they've actually found it there too, which gives it a bit more clue about where it's going, about what it is and where it's going. It's currently just to north of Sagittarius, between the on the cusp of Serpens Cauda, and its magnitude is 18.2, which means you need it's not very bright. You'll need a very big telescope to see it. It's on a highly eccentric path, which is basically it's almost in a straight line. And it was given the designation A11PL3Z. And I wasn't the only one who did this, but we started calling it All Please. But since then, since it was confirmed with follow-up observations, including the historical observations from the 14th to the 21st of June and the 25th to the 29th of June, when it was actually spotted on other telescopes. So from at least the 14th of June, it has been spotted, but not really studied closely. It has been confirmed that it is an interstellar object, given the designations 3I Atlas. 3I means the third interstellar object. Oh, bloody hell, am I freezing? Oh, I've only frozen for Bliss Outdoor. Hello, for Bliss Outdoors. Neil, hello. Thanks for taking part in our Paranormal Peep Show, Ben. Maybe send the recording via Google Drive. Yeah, I'll sort it out with you, Neil, in a minute. I'm sorry, I was right. Have I frozen? Am I actually? This is actually working, or am I just talking to nobody? Big dropout. 21:15. All right, it's okay now. It's Buck Rogers on his way home. Hello, Welsh Ripper. How are you? Is it okay now? If I've got problems, I'll may restart. I don't know. Anyway, did you see the picture of it? I'm normal according to Hugo, but the Anon says it's okay. Okay, is there something wrong here? I hope not. Let's have a look. That's wrong here. I hope not. Let's have a look. Started streaming 15 minutes ago. That should be right. That's wrong here. I hope not. Let's have a look. Because I can't record the bugger, can I? All right. What I'll do is I'll close that player page. I'll hopefully do the trick. That will reduce the bandwidth. That might help. Hello, Frog Scotch. How are you? Tor Engen says it looks like it's local. I got a freeze, but I refreshed and it's okay. Okay. Well, I'll continue. Anyway, just in case you missed it, I'll show you the picture of a. I'll show you the picture, the diagram here. This is where all please. I can't stop calling it all please. It's called 3i Atlas now officially, but that's where it is now, and it's going to head into the inner solar system over the next couple of months, and then out again on the other side. This is a much better image because it shows you basically where it's actually going to go. It's these lines here indicate its position on the celestial sphere relative to the plane of the ecliptic. That is the level, the disk across which is kind of a disk shape where all the planets orbit, or most of the planets orbit. It's actually a very, very narrow thing, just a few degrees where all the planets orbit. So it's going to go like that. So there you are, and I'll just go through the statistics again. Okay, Frog Scotch, hello. I'm great, Cheers, you lovely man. Oh, you hello. What a compliment. Right, closing the stream, reopening it brings it back. Okay, no worries, no worries. It appears it's not a major problem here. Paul, been watching you with a pint of Heineken, eating pork scratchings. That's the best way to enjoy her Panwo TV. Direct hit in empty space. Well, as far as hitting it goes, we'll have to see what happens. But anyway, yeah, it's going to. It's currently heading into the inner solar system, being drawn in by the sun's gravity. Although it's not in orbit around the sun, it's being influenced. It is going to, so assuming it doesn't change course like Oumuamua did, it will come within 1.8 astronomical units of the Earth, which is not far. It's actually 1.8 the distance of the Sun, the average distance of the Sun. So that's not very close. It will come very close to Mars, just 0.189 AU. So it's much closer. It's going to come very close to Mars. On the 19th of December, it reaches perigee. That's its closest point to the Earth. It comes its closest point to the Sun. That is perihelion. Perihelion will be on the 29th of October. It'll come to the closest point of approach to the Earth, 19th of December. So that's it. And then it will disappear. It'll pass out of the solar system, head for Jupiter. Now, what it'll do is all please is going to pass within 0.35 AU of Jupiter. So it's going to get quite close to Jupiter, which it will do. What's the date it will pass Jupiter? I forgot what it will be. It says so here. I think it's sometime next year, but I'll go through here. Yeah, there's a guy called Sam Dean has been very important in this. He's an amateur astronomer, and it's good that amateurs can play a big role in astronomy more than any other science. Amateurs can be very, very useful. Very, very useful. So, I just saw this. I'm just going to Google it. When will 3i Atlas pass Jupiter? That's when it will pass. It'll go back to where it was. Right, here we go. This is just basically to where it is now on the other side of the solar system. It will pass within 0.35 AU from Jupiter. That's its closest point of approach to Jupiter on the 16th of March next year. Okay, that's it. Assuming it doesn't change course. Assuming it doesn't change course. This is a big thing. Now, so this is the third interstellar object. To remind you that Oumuamua was the first one, and we've said an awful lot about that. We've said an awful lot about Oumuamua. Like I said, I've done an entire interstellar object portal, which I showed you earlier, which hopefully you saw. Just in case you didn't, I'm just going to show you it again. Here it is. This is my interstellar object portal. Everything you wanted to know about interstellar objects but were afraid to ask is on this page here. Yeah, closest point of approach to Earth, Halloween time. No, it's actually closer to Christmas, Art. It's going to get closest to the sun just 2 days before Halloween. But it's going to get closer to Earth just before Christmas, which is interesting. So there's something to celebrate for both of those festivals, something extra. Hello, Tor Engen. Here it is 1856 from the Abro Brewery. All right. 69 Phuket, hello, how are you? Greetings, 69 Phuket, glad you're here. Hugo Rune's got a Stella Artois, crispy seaweed, and of course, spliffs. Of course, yes. I assumed you'd have spliffs, Hugo, definitely. Definitely. Anyway, yes, Three-Eye Atlas is following an unbound hyperbolic trajectory around the sun. With this is the highest eccentricity of orbital eccentricity 6.13, the highest of the 3 interstellar interlopers to date. Oumuamua was 1.2. 2i Borisov was 3.4. Right. So 2i Borisov, I should remind you, was shown to be a comet. It was a 2i Borisov, and it was an interstellar comet. A rogue comet, in other words, it's often called, and it has it passed through the solar system and out the other side, just a bit like Oumuamua did. I'll just show. Let me just show you the animation actually of that. Hopefully, I'll find one of these for. I hope to find one of these for. Where is it? Here we go. Oh, this is a comparison with Oumuamua. Right. There we are. The red is this. Can I pause this? No, I can't. Okay, the red is Oumuamua. Borisov is the yellow, but you see here the difference. See, this Oumuamua was less eccentric than Borisov, as you can tell, because it was more the tighter. It was a tighter circle. Is there something similar for? Is there an animation for? I wonder if there's an animation for All Please. I still call it All Please. Right. There's just this. I can only find stills. Here we are. This is the trajectory here. That's where Three-Eye Atlas All Please is right now. It's going to go past Mars. Earth's going to be around there by then, and it's going to go out into space past Jupiter in the next few months. Right. So do you believe NASA? We'll come on to that. We'll come on to that. Arts Channel. Could this be a Deep Impact or Independence Day psyop? Not the former, probably, because it's not. It won't come anywhere near the Earth. It's going to be too far away. It's not even going to be a near miss. It's going to be a near miss of Mars, but not Earth. It's said to be foggy. Yeah, we're going to go into that. We'll go into that. Oh, Rhiannon's talking squirrels again. Yeah, I'll let you tell that story, Rhiannon. Hugo, you want to see my back garden? 21 beautiful ladies growing. Ooh, you really? Hugo, how much have you been mixing? You must have been mixing other things in with your spliff. I'll tell you if you can see beautiful ladies growing in your garden. Won't you get pulled in, say, the gravity of Jupiter? No, its trajectory at the moment has been calculated not to be influenced that much by Jupiter. It'll be influenced somewhat by Jupiter, but not that much on either of its passings of Jupiter. No, right. Or the Jupiter. It's not actually anywhere near Jupiter right now. It's passing the orbital track of Jupiter. Now, I'll come on to the angry astronaut in a minute because he's made a very interesting video about size and brightness. There seems to be a lot of confusion over how big it is and how bright it is. Because observations suggest a maximum possible diameter of around 15 miles. That's huge. That's enormous. If it were a dark asteroid, in other words, something which is not a comet, because they're judging at the moment by basically its range and its brightness to calculate its size right now, because they don't know exactly, they can't observe it's not showing an actual structure. It's too far away. But now they're saying because Three-Eye Atlas is an active comet. This is interesting because when it first appeared, they didn't know what it was. Now they're saying it's an active comet. We'll ask ourselves whether it is. It's surrounded by a coma, a shell of reflective dust. The actual size of the nucleus is expected to be significantly smaller, as it would be properly calculated from a combined nucleus and coma absolute magnitude. 3I Atlas appears especially bright because the coma has passed opposition, causing the surrounding dust to be brightened by an opposition surge. What does opposition mean? It said when astronomical objects are said to be in opposition when they are on opposite sides of the celestial sphere of an observed given body, usually Earth. Right. Right. What's that about? Causing its surrounding dust to be brightened by an opposition surge. That's got something to do with the sun, I think. That's probably got something to do with the sun. It's the brightening of a rough surface of an object with many particles when illuminated from directly behind the observer. Yeah, so in other words, because the sun is shining directly on it, I think that means. Okay. Nevertheless, 3I Atlas appears to be weakly active compared to the other interstellar object 2I Borisov, and thus is suspected to have a nucleus diameter 10 times larger than that of 2I Borisov. Borisov was destined to be 0.31 miles, so the maximum diameter of 3I Atlas's nucleus could be up to 2.5 to 3.1 miles. Yeah, but of course this is an important point. Is it a comet? Now, anyway, I'll just go back to what you're talking about here. Hugo says, I have my carers washing my naked body 4 times a day and wiping my... Right, okay, I see, right. Is that fun? Or is that something fun? Hugo says, the ladies in my garden are female cannabis plants. Yum, yum. All right. Paul says, Ben, what is it? Is it one of their satellites or is there just one craft? Well, I wouldn't use the word craft just yet, but there's an object. There's an object. And now, when it first appeared, there was some unconfirmed reports that it had a coma. That's what you'd expect from a comet. Now, I do recommend the Angry Astronaut. Let's have a look at his Twitter feed right now, because I've just started following him, actually. He used to be a skeptic. He's now quite open to UFOs. Like Professor Simon Holland, he's becoming more open-minded. Where is it now? Where is he now? Oh, he doesn't seem to be very active on Twitter. But he's followed by several other people I follow. Gary Jones, Beatrice Villarreal, 3 others you follow. Who are they? The bearded gas guy. Darcy Weir. Right, okay. That is the Angry Astronaut. But let's have a look at his video. Now, I can't show you any of this damn video because I'll immediately get a copyright strike. Because I'm being... Is it... Can I show it? Will it make any difference if I speed it up? Because the YouTube are just watching me like a hawk. Damn it! I can't show this. I'm afraid I'll lose the live stream if I do. Other people can do this, but I can't for some reason. But anyway, I do recommend. I made some notes. I'll just go through the description box and make some notes. All right, and that's all I can do. A new interstellar object has arrived in the solar system. It's much larger and brighter than any interstellar object seen before. Is it a comet? If so, it's a very strange comet. Or what if it's somehow producing its own light? Either way, it's very different from Oumuamua, but just as strange. This is an important point because let's ask ourselves whether it is a comet or not. Now, as usual, the skeptics have jumped on this. I'll go through. Let me just go through the notice comments first of all. All right. Because they'll bring this up. This is both a notice for this video, this live stream, and also some comments that were posted underneath the article I wrote about this on Hapanamo Voice. LabBase says, and he says, it's a comet, and it has been confirmed as such by numerous observations since its discovery. Right? Is it? We'll get into that. It's active. There is a coma around the nucleus, which is confirmation it is in fact a comet. The size is a little more difficult to determine due to it being active. We aren't sure of the light reflected as being a result of the corona or nucleus itself. The speed of travel indicates it's interstellar. there should be ample time enough for telescopes pointed at it to get a spectral analysis to determine composition without the need to send a probe, which we wouldn't have time to build and launched anyway, given NASA and Musk's current failings regarding engineering rockets and landers. Excitement on a slow news day in October. All right, okay. Well, we'll go through that, whether it's possible. The prediction about what we'll be able to see about it later on will depend on what it does now. Melvin Sherman says, I don't know if Fermi paradox full exist. Sorry, let me say, I don't know if Fermi paradox full exist. Why does we even exist? All right, Melvin, of course, is a little bit incoherent. The Fermi paradox is this idea that, well, if aliens are out there, and where are they? Well, I answered that in my SETI video. The answer is, of course, why haven't they found us is the question. The answer is they have found us. That's the point. That's what UFOs are. It solves the Fermi paradox. But anyway, Arts Channel says here, another interstellar floater that will soon be flushed out of the solar system. Well, we'll see. Jimmy Wormhole says Revelation 8:11. Let's see what that says. It's something from the Bible. There we are, Revelation 8:11. Let's have a look. Wormwood, yes. It describes a star named Wormwood falling from the sky and polluting a third of the Earth's water, turning them bitter. Let's just read what it actually says. 8:11, yes. When he opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. And I saw the 7 angels who stand before God, and the 7 trumpets were given to them. Another angel, it's down here. Oh, 8, 9, 10, 9, 11, okay. 3, 6, 7, 8. Here we go. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great blazing star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and the springs of water. The star is named Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. All right. So that's what you mean. Okay, that's the. I've actually deleted the notice now, but thanks, Jimmy Wormholes. With Jimmy Wormholes, not Wormwood. Missing Trillions, who comments an awful lot on my alt text sites, especially Odyssey and Rumble. It could easily be the case that such objects have been passing through the solar system throughout human history, but remained undetected, as they most likely would have been. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Seeing as we've got 3 just in a few years, they're probably quite a regular occurrence. And Missing Trillions says they could become quite a regular occurrence. Now we have the means to detect them and are actively looking for them. Yes, indeed, Missing Trillions. What's more, we're detecting more of them now because we have the methodology as well. And who do we have to thank for that methodology? Avi! Which side is he on? What a pointer. Yeah, it's Avi Loeb we have to thank for developing that methodology. But the problem is Avi is being castigated like John Mack. He's been treated like dirt by other astronomers right now. You know, you've got to ask yourself, what does Avi Loeb have to gain from lying and talking crap? He's saying what he believes is true. Yeah, anyway, the Kuiper Belt and the Oort Cloud are fascinating places, if only because of their coldness and vastness. I think it was Ian Ridpath who said that the masters of the universe will turn out to be a species who crack the technology needed to colonize the vast and cold emptiness of interstellar space, because that's what most of the universe is. And they will have a limitless habitat. Another reason why planetary acquisition won't have much significance for advanced ETs. Right. Well, Ian Ridpath is the burning manure guy, isn't he? No. Is it he? Or no, it's Vince. We're talking about Rendlesham Forest, right? Oh, by the way, Capel Green's coming out in 2 weeks. I'll be going along to the premiere. Yeah. Ian Ridpath was the lighthouse man, the guy who said that the aliens were a lighthouse. Ian Ridpath, Vince Thurkettle was the guy who said it was a truckload of burning manure, and what a pile of burning manure that was. You know. Now, I think planetary acquisition will have significance because the more planets you acquire, the further you spread. Just like when humans build an empire, the more territory we acquire, the bigger more powerful the empire is. I mean, the British Empire, we created an empire on which the sun never set. In fact, the sun is only setting on it now thanks to people like David Lammy, who are they're not even selling our overseas territories; they're paying people to take them off our hands. I'm not going to go on a Diego Garcia rant right now. I've done an entire video on Diego Garcia. Now, Anonymous says this. Someone called Anonymous. That's his name. Yeah, Anonymous. Mr. AAN Anonymous is his name. Quote, he quotes me here. What if it executes powered maneuvers like a Muamua did? Unquote. This is complete fantasy. As Avi Loeb stated, a Muamua displayed non-gravitational acceleration, raising the possibility of an artificial origin, unquote. All right, well, call it that if you like, but non-gravitational acceleration could be caused by power, couldn't it? I mean, he said it might be a solar sail, but it could also be an engine, like a rocket engine, or anti-gravity or something. This was subsequently studied by numerous academics, armchair astronomers, and interested physicists, and determined to be the result of gases released as it flew close to the sun, being released when heated like many comets, being dirty snowballs, causing acceleration. Actually, no. There was a theory that it was hydrogen ice from inside the object. The thing about it is, no, comets do actually release gases. It's called outgassing. There's signs that All Please is doing that right now. Whether it is or not, I'll come to that. But usually this happens when the object gets close to the sun, not when it's moving away from the sun. Now, Oumuamua did not exhibit any outgassing effects at all, even though it flew quite close to the sun. But when it was moving away, when it was beyond the orbit of Jupiter, it suddenly starts producing outgassing effects like this. Doesn't make sense unless it's not outgassing causing the acceleration. So it's not a dirty snowball. It says, he continues, Avi Loeb was intimating that it was potentially a solar sail. We could speculate this was due to him seeking a research grant for a study at the time and seeking publicity, but who knows? Oh, yeah, that's right. Make yourself the laughing stock of Harvard Astronomy Department, and somehow that is actually a good way of getting a research grant, is it? No, they don't give research grants to nutcases and tinfoil hatters like us. I mean, look at Dr. Tabitha Boyajian. Look how her TED talk is really pathetic because she spends half of her TED talk piling disclaimer upon disclaimer, desperately trying to distance herself from the lunatic fringe like us. However, and he carries on here. However, All Please is a comet and displays all the characteristics of being a comet, so much so that it's now being referred to in such astronomical circles as being observed currently. All right, that was actual art that was posted on the 4th of July. Right, that was when this Anonymous posted this article and posted this comment. Now, my article was actually posted a little bit earlier than that. My comment was posted on the 3rd of July, so this was the following day when there was more information that arrived. Anyway, guys, let's go through your comments. Let's go through your comments. Let's have a look what you got to say. I won't be able to go through all of them. Arch Channel says alien. Well, it's not from the solar. Do you mean if it's artificial? Well, that's a question we're just going to look out for. Hugo says gravity doesn't exist. It's an outward expansion of matter, and the Earth pushed the object. Yes, I'm strange. Well, gravity attracts. It doesn't push. Let's have a go. Hugo says, well, I obviously know the apple theory. I did go to grammar school, but I disagree. That was old Isaac Newton. Gajenna says, what about my upstairs neighbour, Nukes? Do you mean Alan Liberace? That's my upstairs neighbour who plays the piano, but he's been quiet for a while. EA Audits, greetings. How are you, sir? How are you? Right. Jimskin Pivot says, opposition surge is similar to the halo around an astronaut's shadow when he photographs that shadow with the sun behind him. Oh, there was a photo of that in the Wikipedia article, actually, Jimskin Pivot. I'll show it to you. Here it is. This is the shadow of this. Here we go. Let me just take that off here. This is another example, apparently, of astronauts on the moon, or apparently on the moon. We're not going to go there this evening, but you can see here, look, he's got like a halo around him. So whether this is on the moon or in the desert at Area 51, you can see there's a light behind him which is causing this effect. Yeah, absolutely. And when the sun is behind him, it's a reflection of perpendicular facets in the soil facing the light. You could, Jim, I've actually seen a similar effect on the beach at Lytham St Anne's when I was actually. This was when I was walking on the beach on my way to Probe, because if you the you know how you get that rippling effect on wet sand below the tide, below the high tide mark. I actually saw something similar with the sun behind me. Like the sun was reflecting differently on the different parts of the ripple. I got that similar effect. Yeah. Outgassing was disproved, was it? Well, maybe this is breaking news. EA, we'll have to see about that. But I mean, Angry Astronaut does make a good point about the outgassing, and I'll come to that. All right. Paul Wills, Ben Kettle, Vince Thurkettle was got to very early in the investigation at Rendlesham. They had to get him in line. Yeah, I know he was. Yeah, I think I don't know exactly how they do this. Why people come out with this bollocks? I don't know. I mean, Ian Ridpath saying it was just a. You see, I'll come on to this in a minute, all right? But a lot of people, even very clever people, they also suffer from like confirmation bias, just like we nutcases do. Yeah. Pardon me. Okay. Now I'll go into the Angry Astronaut. Now, in AA's video, this one here, which I do recommend, I've really got to quite like Angry Astronaut. I'm not sure I'll bother following him on Twitter if he doesn't, because he doesn't actually. The problem is he's hardly posted on Twitter. He's not active on Twitter. But this video here, a new Oumuamua has entered the solar system, and this one is colossal. Yeah, it's very. He does these really good videos. All right, EA. Oh, what's we got now? Walt, if it hits Mars, there might be some debris flying around. Right, this is a problem. You may have just seen my space weather reports, Walt, about the TR-44, about how it's going to crash into the moon. May crash into the moon in 2032. This will cause some problems because the debris, the ejector, might actually be an impact hazard for objects in cislunar space. Yeah, I'll come on to that another time. Now, a lot of you the fact of whether it's a comet or not, we'll come on to about this, because currently it's being reported as a comet. And some people are going to say things like, well, maybe it's not a comet, and they're just saying it is. Maybe it's not a comet, and the astronauts are part of a conspiracy to make us think it's a comet, so we won't know that it's an alien spacecraft. And they're all colluding. They've been got to by the Men in Black and MI5 and things like this, and they've been ordered just to tell the public that it's a comet. All right. Well, I don't think that's the case. Right. This is not they're not these. You're talking about thousands of astronomers across the world in at least 3 countries. And there's probably more now, because more and more astronomers around the world are turning their telescopes towards All Please. I can't stop calling it All Please. I know it's called 3i. It's not called A11PL3Z anymore, but I still call it that. I can't help calling it that. It's stuck in my mind. It's called 3i Atlas now. No, you cannot get all these thousands of astronomers in so many countries to collaborate with something like that. These astronomers are observing it correctly. If they say they observe a coma, they are reporting what they believe they are observing. However, this does not mean, even though that you can't get that many people to be willing to collaborate in a conspiracy, even if it were possible to persuade them. It's still possible they are suffering from bias when interpreting astronomical data. So they're interpreting the data coming from All Please with the a priori belief that it's a comet, and therefore are interpreting the data thus, and therefore all of them are tacitly agreeing with the other in a kind of like a bit like the kind of Stanford prison experiment thing. Was it not the Stanford prison experiment, or was it no, not the the Milgram experiment, things like that. And there's reasons now Angry Astronaut's video, which I can't show you, has made this point. What they're saying is basically he's puzzled, and many others are puzzled by several things. Firstly, it's very, very bright, which indicates there's some confusion over its size or composition. And Avi has actually said this. I mean, Avi Loeb has actually been saying, I have actually got his Twitter feed up here. Well, it's the Galileo project. Here we go. This is it. Why am I not following it? Okay. Here we are. Welcome the new interstellar object, all AL A11PL3Z. Now, and that was on the 2nd of July. It's now called Atlas. Where is it? Oh yeah, this is when he was on Coast to Coast. Avi was on Coast to Coast, and that's so he hasn't actually put much up here, but he has reported, and maybe this was on this particular program here. Again, there's a third picture of a Oumuamua. Oh, Avi. Oh, he's got a Avi Low medium. Here we go. 5 days ago. On the early morning, I won't try to do his voice. I woke up for 2 a.m. for a 2-hour interview on Coast to Coast. Well, there's dedication for you, Avi. Of course, he's in Israel, isn't it? There's a massive time difference. He's in Israel, and Coast to Coast is in the US. It goes so yeah. There's a big difference. And the objects originate from outside. I'll skim some of this. The IAU, the Minor Planet Center, added all please to the near Earth object confirmation list on the 1st of July, with a similar listing appearing on NASA JPL CEO's website. The preliminary fit for the trajectory of all please, and it talks about its eccentricity here. An extrapolation of all please's orbit implies that its closest distance to the Earth will be 2.4 times. It's actually slightly less than that now. 0.8, no 1.8. Yeah, and it talks about this here. They're suggesting a diameter of about 20 kilometers, but so this is somewhat bigger than the Chicxulub impactor. Well, it killed all the non-avian dinosaurs 66 million years ago. Maybe it's actually not going to threaten the Earth, though, even if it is what it appears to be. Well, if it is what it appears to be, a natural object, it will not threaten the Earth. It would have to change course quite radically to threaten the Earth. If all pleases brightness, and this is where it gets interesting here. If all pleases brightness stems from reflecting sunlight at the typical albedo in the order of 10%, then its diameter is 20 kilometers. So much bigger than Oumuamua, about 50 to 100 times larger than the core of comet Borisov. If all three objects are rocks, then all pleases mass is over 10 million times larger than Oumuamua, at least 100,000 times larger than Borisov. This is surprising because one expects high mass objects to be much rarer. Based on data about the main asteroid belt in the solar system, one would expect millions of objects like Oumuamua for each object on the mass of all please. How come we did not observe millions of Oumuamua scale objects before discovering all please? Of course, we may have missed many of them, but probably not millions of them. It's also possible that the size distribution of interstellar rocks, can you see this? Yeah, you can, good. Is a bimodal with a peak of around a diameter of 20 kilometers. The most likely, I don't know what that means. Sorry, I don't understand that bit. Jim Skin Pivot, you may be able to enlighten me there. The most likely possibility is that all please is a comet, and we are detecting the reflection of sunlight from its cometary plume of gas and dust, whereas its mass is contained in the much smaller core. Yeah, I wonder what Abby thinks now, whether he's changed his mind about that, based on what the angry astronaut has said about the fact it's actually outgassing more than it should, considering its distance from the sun. Indeed, a new notice on the 2nd of July by the Minor Planet Center labels the object as 3I Atlas, officially interstellar, suggestive tentative evidence for a coma. Right. According to latest reports, that evidence has increased, and more astronomers are spotting what they believe is a coma. Although, as I said, they may be interpreting this wrongly because of what they expect to see. Comets populate the outskirts of planetary systems and can be easily dislodged into interstellar space by passing stars because they are loosely bound gravitationally to their host star. So that's why you get things like Borisov, because it's an interstellar comet. It'll fly off into space away from their star, and eventually it'll pass by another star. Other more speculative possibilities, here we go, are that 3I Atlas's albedo is much larger than usual, or that it generates its own light. It generates its own light. Good old Avi. You can't beat him. He's one of the few people with the balls to say these things. Well, many astronomers may well be thinking it. In the comet case, Three-Eye Atlas's nature will be closer to that of the comet Borisov. Okay, very different from that of Muamua, which did not show a coma and had an extreme disc-like shape. Some people said it was long and thin. That's another possibility, given the amount of sunlight it reflected. Excuse me. Based on its direction and motion, Three-Eye Atlas appears to be coming at a retrograde orbit with an inclination. That means it's the opposite direction of the sun, or the solar system, the sun on the solar system's rotation. You can see that actually in the map. So it's actually going in that direction. It's got a very eccentric, slight tilt that way, where all the other planets are going the opposite direction. Yeah. It's coming. It's an inclination of 175 degrees relative to the Earth's orbital plane from the thin disk of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Yeah. This is interesting. This is the important point to remember. In the coming months, we will learn more about Three-Eye Atlas's properties based on data from multiple ground-based telescopes, including the new Rubin Observatory in Chile, as well as the possibility of the Webb Space Telescope. Stock your popcorn. I will, Avi. I will. Oh, pardon me. Let's go back to your comments. See if there's any interesting ones here. Hugo's on cloud 9. Yeah. Sorry, I don't believe gravity exists. Goodness me. You are such a space cadet, Hugo. You really are. Alu, foil hatters, just aluminium foil. Yeah, we call them tin foil hats, aren't we? Who's Clodhopper? Have I missed a commenter? Here we go. Got 32 people watching, not bad for mine. Is it the alien spacecraft from Star Trek 4 that looks like a tin of dog food? That is here to talk about to the whales. Oh, bloody that. Oh, God, that. Yeah, I didn't like that film. And Walt says here, a high surface metal would increase shine via reflection. Well, that's what Angry Astronaut was saying. He says maybe what they're detecting is actually a more reflective surface rather than a coma. I seen just now that it's 20 years ago since 7/7. Yeah, I'm going to mention that on my next video. That's Elon Musk I'm talking with, X-Pace Supreme Lordanu. Hugo says, I read ahead of you. Look forward to tumbling every 8 hours. You tumble every hour with all your spliffs, Hugo. You really, really do. Double check my notes. So in summary, Old Please is apparently a comet. Astronomers are currently interpreting the data as that it's a comet. However, there's some problems with that. Firstly, as I said, they may be suffering from some confirmation bias because they're expecting it to be a comet. They don't, and none of them want to be the first one to say, "Oh, it could be a spaceship," when it's not. It's, according to Angry Astronaut, it's actually out. It's out. If it is a comet, its coma is being formed too early. It's a premature coma where it's too far from the sun. And All Please makes another interesting thing. He says if All Please is natural, then Oumuamua is not, because of the difference. You see, a lot of them are saying, well, Oumuamua is, the reason they're saying it's natural is because it forms a coma. Then Oumuamua didn't have a coma, so Oumuamua therefore is not natural. I mean, that doesn't necessarily follow, but yeah. And the most interesting thing is what what Angry Astronaut said, and he's basing it on Avi Loeb's paper that I just read, the article. Could it be generating its own light? Now, this isn't a possibility, and we won't know. We're going to find out, that's for sure. In the next couple of months, we'll find out, and I will actually, I'll do a follow-up to this video if necessary. Hello, Hachi. Yeah, rough and tumbling with the nurses. He does when they're wiping his you-know-what, which he seems to like. Nothing as it seems. According to the electric universe theory, the comet tails are produced by electrical discharges triggered by their motion through the positively charged solar wind. Right. That's interesting. That's Wall Thornhill, yeah. Paul says, Ben, when was it detected? How long has it been observing us? It was officially detected on July the 1st, but there was the astronomers went through some like historical plates to find out if it appeared on earlier observations. They turned out it actually did. In fact, it can be traced back to images that were taken as long ago as the 14th of June, but they were not spotted and appreciated for what they were. Thank you. Oh, Lord Anu says, Lord Anu, thank you, Ben. Been watching you for years. Love you. Oh, this is me, Vincent. Oh, hello, Vincent. How are you? How do you do? Hugo. No, Ben, it was on that document you showed earlier. Please go back to it. Well, this one here with Avi, was it Avi's earlier document? Do you mean this one here? Do you mean this one? Oh yeah. In the comet case, Three-Eye Atlas's nature will be closer to that of Comet Borisov and very different to that of Oumuamua, which did not show a coma and had an extreme disc-like shape, given the amount of sunlight it reflected, changed by a factor of 10 as it was tumbling every 8 hours. Yeah. Well, there were some theories it was disc-like. Others said it was like the turd picture, which I showed you earlier. This. So it was either disc-like or it was like that. That's the point, yeah. Hugo's getting 8 hourly gravitational pulls. Texas has a rough time. Yeah, there's been horrible floods there, and I feel sorry for the people involved in that. Yeah, yeah. Hugo gets rotated every 8 hours by the nurses by their gravitational pulls. Yeah. Arts. I don't think it will be visible to the naked eye. It won't be. Its maximum magnitude is going to be It's going to be 18.2 is its current magnitude. It's not going to raise very far from that. You need a very big telescope to see it because, for example, naked eye limits on naked eye observations are what? Let's have a look. Human eye limiting magnitude. Right, limiting magnitude. The limiting magnitude of human eye under ideal conditions is about magnitude 6.5. Right, so this is much, much dimmer. Much dimmer. The lower the number, the higher, the more bright it is. Oh, every 4 hours. Oh, you lovely. Well, good for you, Hugo. Well done. Lucky old you. What's the latest on Apophis? All right, Apophis is right. Apophis is going to come very close to the Earth. This is a different subject, but it's still sort of space related. So I actually reported this on a positive asteroid. I actually reported this on the space weather last week. 99942 Apophis. It's interesting. Its number includes an emergency dial number. Yeah. It's 560 feet across, which is very, very big. It caused a brief period of concern in December 2004 when limited observations indicated a possibility that it would hit the Earth in 2029. Guess which date? Friday the 13th in April. That's now been eliminated, but there is a possibility that it might impact. It's this possibility. It's not certain yet, but there is a possibility that it might impact on a similar. Here we go. Exactly 7 years later, Easter Sunday, April the 13th, 2036. Now, this is the thing. So even if they miss once, they can come around usually a few years to a few decades later, and strike the Earth again. So it also might come close. It's going to come close to the Earth in 2051, and then possibly in 2068. I won't tell you how old I'll be then, but I probably won't be around to see that or be killed by it if that happens. But yeah, I mean, this Apophis may well cause some problems for us in the next decade or next few decades. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 2045 on the second way around. Yeah. This will be a good candidate for like the DART deflection mission, I think. And they do have time now, don't they? Hugo says, I never toke when my carers are here. I have much too respect for them. Yeah, they might cause a bit of a stink if they do, Hugo, because you'll cause a bit of a stink, but they might object. It's a bit like do you remember the coach driver I talked about in my Ben in the Desert video because she objected because this guy, I can't believe it, this guy lit up a spliff on the bloody coach. Couldn't believe it. Oh yeah, they leave on a high. They passive smoke the remainders, don't they? Well, it's gonna. I think it says 2036, but I think it's gonna miss. I didn't read that in very, very carefully. I don't have time to read it in detail. I think it's definitely going to miss 2036, but it could come back, I think, a little bit later. Yeah, right, okay. Right, so I don't really have anything more to add. Do you have any more questions or comments? Because I think I've covered it all so far, but I will come back and I will do another live stream on this subject. I'll come back and I'll do another live stream because, all right. No, Ben, I asked them. No smells whatsoever. I'm clean. Oh, cool. Right. EA audits. I caught a pick of a flying serpent. Oh, right, like that one from the story Musgrave caught, like the serpent creature, and they've been filmed from the ground as well. Paul Will said, Ben, has that smug git Cox made a comment on the issue? Let's have a look, shall we? I mean, I can't bear to follow the bastard. He's too obnoxious. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Okay, here we go. I'm not following him. Okay. Let's have a look at him. There we go. Oh, I am following him. Oh, my God, I'm a sucker for punishment. Look at him, the bloody tosser. Look at that pretentious twat. Professor of particle physics at the University of Manchester. What's he saying here then? Okay. Brian Cox reposted June. Oh, June the 19th was his last tweet. Oh no, he's got like what's it? Oh, he has actually. He's reposted this. I thought it was pinned, but it's not. It's reposted. ESA operations, European Space Agency. Astronomers may have discovered the third interstellar object passing through the solar system. Nobbers. ESA's planetary defenders are observing the object, provisionally known as All Please. Right now, they're using all telescopes around the world. Okay. Well, I mean, that's true. It's true. Oh, we go. And they're just given the usual. All Please has been reborn as 3i Atlas, confirmed interstellar object. All right, then. Okay. That's what the Cox Ucker is saying about it. Oh, Walt, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. You're welcome. 69 Phuket. My shit stinks. Well, I'm glad you're not Professor. Dr. Stephen Greer thinks his doesn't, but I'm glad you're not him. Right, Mark Manali, another bloody Scotsman. Deceleration from high-speed travel by shedding mass as you approach your destination. An ice shell melts away as you approach your destination. Would help slowing down prior to orbit. All right. So are you saying what they're observing? The ice would make an excellent ablative shield as well. I've seen like several science fiction books where they say that, where like Arthur C. Clarke's Songs of Distant Earth, where they talk about how an interstellar spaceship would use an ice shield to protect itself from friction from the interstellar medium at very high speeds, and also from solar wind and outer atmospheres of planets. Which means that could be what that be what they're observing, and it's not a comet. It's not a comet corona at all. In which case, then it would be an interstellar spaceship. Yes. Tor Engen. Cox is looking very tired lately. I'm not surprised. Bloody hell. His feeble frame is probably struggling under Earth's gravity right now. Gary, hello, how are you? I'm a bit late. Not to worry. This is a come and go as you please live stream. But Gary, you'll have to watch the recording for the background to this. But I mean, you'll find it very interesting. 69 Phuket. I got my results back from the NHS poo sample. Not got bowel cancer. Well, I'm sure I join us all in thinking that's very, very good news, Phuket. It really is. I didn't know that was a problem. I didn't know that was a possibility. And it must have been very worrying for you. And I'm glad you're relieved now. I really am. You got the all clear. Okay, so in summary, we don't know enough yet about... Nice one, Gary. Yeah, it'll be there for you afterwards. I'm going to keep it. Obviously, I can't stop it getting deleted by YouTube, but yeah, it'll be there. So in summary... All Please, I still keep calling it All Please. I can't stop. 3i Atlas is something we don't actually know what it is. We know that it's behaving in some ways like a comet. Astronomers are currently interpreting the data from it as a comet. There's a lot of uncertainties about it in terms of its size. We still don't know how big it is. There's some confusion. We don't know. We don't know why it's outgassing this early. The coma of the comet it's too dense and too big for an object that far out would normally be. This doesn't mean it's not a comet. It just means it's unusual for a comet, as the angry astronaut has said. Avi Loeb even thinks another possibility is generating its own light, which would be really quite something, because no object we know of in the solar system apart from the sun actually does that. If astronomers are saying it's a comet and they're certain it's a comet, this is not because they are, and it's not a comet. This is not because they're conspiring. As I said, you can't get thousands of scientists around the world to take part in a conspiracy. It would be impossibly top heavy. What they might be doing is misinterpreting data based on their own presuppositions, and quite frankly, the fact they don't have the balls that this guy does, Avi Loeb. That they're not as brave as this man here, and they're not willing to stick their neck out the way Avi Loeb has done. Hello, David. How are you? Yeah, Avi thinks he's found forensic evidence actually on the seabed of a possible thing. So welcome, David Splendid Isolation. You were here earlier. Did you go away? Oh well, welcome back. So over to you guys. Anything else you want to say, or we'll call it a night? We'll call it a night, because we've covered everything. What I'll do is, as soon as if there's a significant update, I'll do another publication. All right. Paul Whittle says, "Pay me £5,000 and we'll get you the contract." Stephen Greer. Yeah. Oh, it's always you've got to pay him a lot of money for everything, don't you? You want to go on you remember my joke about when I was doing my impression of Greer, and I said, you go on a Sky Watch. It does literally cost thousands to go on a personal Sky Watch with him. When I went to do that Sky Watch at Kaz Clark's place, I said to her, because I was thinking about what it would cost me, and she said, "How much is this going to cost me? Surely less than Greer. I can't afford to go then if it's as much as Greer." She said, "Bring some beers." She said, that's all she said. So I did. Jack and Off. Hello, Jack and Off. Welcome, Hugo Rune. I understand 69. I am exactly the same for different reasons. My life now is just existence, not life. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Is that your age, Hugo? Well, old Hugo says, "Nice one, Ben. Enjoyed this." Okay, well, your life is a life and not an existence, as long as you have Panwo TV to watch, isn't it? But I'm sorry. I'm going to come and see you, aren't I? I've got to arrange to come and see you. Yeah, I got your email. I mean, there was some confusion over your email. Yeah. Bring some beers, Red Stuff. Exactly. That's all she said. That's what Kaz said to me. Paul Will says Cox was at Wimbledon looking really smug, was he? Oh, another reason not to bloody go to Wimbledon. Hugo says age and disability. Yeah, Hugo, I know you're not young, and I know you have this disability, and I'm sorry about that. I really am, and I really do hope you find you still have something in life to make it worthwhile, which is, of course, you have your spliffs and you have a Panwo TV, and things like that, and you have nurses rolling you over and wiping your ass, which you seem to like. Things, so I do hope you you find some a zest for life. Mark Manali says, "Oh, and the ladies in the garden, of course, yes." Well, I know you meant cannabis plants. Yeah, I know you do, but that's cool. I hope you don't get raided by the police again. I really don't, because Hugo made a very brave stand when the police went and bloody. I don't think they believed you were making it all for your personal use. You're growing it for your personal use. Mark Manelli says, "All right, here's interesting. There's a theory that a stellar fragment or micro singularity passed through the solar system at a right angle, causing all of the unique characteristics of our solar system, Neptune on its side, etc." All right. I think it's Uranus that's on its side, and that's not a joke. But there was one planet I know, one of the gas giants is on its side, But yeah, Uranus is a gas giant. Childish, unoriginal joke smirk from my part. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, that there was like a micro black hole passing through the Earth every 5 minutes or something like that. That's interesting. Oh, I'm glad I gave you something to laugh at, Hugo. Yeah. Night, Paul. Thanks for taking part. Yeah, there'll be another video coming soon, mate. I'll obviously there's the Cable Green thing. I'm going to do that. There'll be another one before then. Bet they'll never release the truth unless forced to. Well, let's just supposing this is not a comet. supposing it actually, if it's not a comet and it is another Oumuamua, and it starts maneuvering closer to the Earth, they won't be able to pretend. And the astronomers, confirmation bias among astronomers can only go so far. They will reach the point where they will realize that, yeah, this is actually a spaceship, and then everyone will know. They can't keep that quiet. Not something like that, David. I mean, you see something like Roswell is comparatively easy. You just seal off the area, you get rid of the decisive forensic evidence, you put out a cover story, and that's it. A crash retrieval is very strictly a local affair. This is something up in the sky which thousands of people can see. Anyone who has like a sizable telescope can see it. Someone says here, could a gas giant ever be... Oh, it's Red Snapper. Could a gas giant ever be colonized by humans? Yeah, you could have like the Bespin Cloud City thing, in something floating in the sky, like in like Lando Calrissian's city. Oh, you're welcome, Greg H. Glad you enjoyed it. Phuket says, I'm off the Boaties world. Oh, check it out, Hugo. I know nothing about this thing. Sorry, Gary. Yeah, you have to watch the recording. Yeah, but it's very interesting. You're welcome, Sebastian. Night, Hugo. And 69 Phuket's going to visit. That's good. We should all get together, shouldn't we? Walt, I've never watched Omen 3. I thought Omen 2 was shit. No, actually, no. Omen 2. Oh, I was thinking of The Exorcist. Actually, the Omen trilogy wasn't that bad. I mean, even the sequel, the number 2 was quite good, and 3 was almost as good as 2. Yeah. Gary, Uranus is a gas giant, and so is mine. Mark says, I take solace that billionaires' underground bunkers won't protect them from a stellar cataclysm. No, exactly. Yeah. No, nice, David. No, you're welcome, Lee Radford. Oh, Mark, there's a good book that's worth reading. Actually, it's like a short story compilation by someone called Cory Doctorow, and one of the what's it? Let me just have a look, because I wrote an article about this, but you'll enjoy it. It's quite good fun. Here we go. I did a review here about it. Right, here we go. The Mask of the Red Death by Cory Doctorow. I did, and I also did a live stream about this as well. That's quite, because it's about some billionaires who go into a bunker and it doesn't work out very well for them. It's quite funny. Let's have a look. Yeah, Doomsday Bunkers. Watch this video as well. Watch that video, because I'm very proud of that video. This was from February 2024. It's good. It's a good one, that. Yeah. All with a good beer or two. Yeah. I've heard Stephen Greer is offering his Sky Watches at half price, 20. What, £2,500? Oh, and there's also that suspicion about the aeroplane, in Florida. Night, Rhiannon. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so we've got 29 people watching. But anyway, that's it, everyone. I'll do an update as soon as there is one. It could turn out that in 3 months' time, we'll know it'll turn out it was just a comet. It'll say, well, it was just a comet, Ben, all right? And all the skeptics and backslappers are going to come to me, and they're going to crowd around me, gloating about it. Ben, you said it was definitely an alien spaceship, and it's turned out to be a comet. Yahoo sucks to you. Nah. It turned out to be a comet. And you're really disappointed now, aren't you? I'll just go, no. I said it might be a comet, and I said it in a few months' time. If it turns out to be another interstellar comet, I'll just say it was an interstellar comet. Yes, I will be disappointed, but not very. And besides, whether I'm disappointed or not is irrelevant to the fact that what is. Reality is reality, and we have to face up to it. And so don't expect me to cry into my cornflakes live on air on the October the 29th when it comes to perihelion, and it's obviously got a massive tail on it and it's acting just like any other comet. All right. So if you're putting a note in your diary expecting some massive Schadenfreude trip at that moment, I'm going to disappoint you guys. I will. Night, Walt. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching Hapanmo TV. There'll be another video as soon as possible. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity. Stop the New World Order.